This report brought to you by the Richmond Club, where investors and high-growth companies meet.
I'm Galit Solomon for the Richmond Report. I recently sat down with Tim McCutcheon. He is the president of Wealth Minerals. Their flagship property is located in Chile's Atacama Salar, which is one of the world's leading sources of lithium. Tim shared with me several of the reasons why now is the time to get in on this stock. Tim, welcome to the Richmond Report.
Thank you for having me here.
Let's begin with an overall perspective of the company in about 30 seconds.
Okay. Wealth Minerals was specifically sort of designed to tap into the lithium sector and its role in the change in how energy is used and consumed in the world.
Okay.
And our team had a specific advantage in working in Chile. And one of the key things about any investment is you can get the theme correct, but if you get the wrong exposure to that theme, you won't make any money. And so we were always attracted to Chile being a stable country with a very good track record for respecting property rights and being a mining-friendly jurisdiction. Plus the fact that Mother Nature has put a whole lot of lithium in Chile.
Right.
So that was sort of the key way to get into. And just by fortune of being, having good hustle and getting around, we managed to get a very large land package in what is widely considered to be the world's premier lithium asset.
I was going to ask you to perhaps expand on the asset and its location specifically.
That's right. So the Atacama Salar is one of the world's largest salars. Salar is a dried salt lake bed. And the Atacama Salar is one of the largest in the world. It's one of the oldest. The way a salar works is the older and larger they are, they tend to have much higher concentrations of lithium, simply because they had more time to have that happen. And so about a third of global lithium production comes from the southern part of the salar, and it is the lowest cost source of lithium in the world. Now we have basically the entire northern part of the salar, over 46,000 hectares. The preliminary testing that we've done in terms of geophysical work and so on, and looking at historical data, it's very clear that what we have is very similar to what is in the south. And so the next step really is developing that to create a world-class lithium asset.
Right.
And that's so geologically, we're in basically the best postal code you want to be.
Let's talk about lithium for a moment and its day-to-day uses so that our potential investors have a better idea of what it's used for.
Lithium is basically the light, after helium and hydrogen, it's the lightest element out there. And so it's very reactive. And what that means is it's an ideal material to use to storing energy. And there's really not a lot of ways to replace it. There are other associated metals around it, but lithium is by far the best, and it's certainly the most incumbent material in the battery space. Everyone else is putting a lot of money into it, so it sort of gets that incumbency. It is used in all sorts of applications, from your cell phone to the battery in your computer to, of course, electric vehicles. And really, the whole buzz about lithium is not, growing cell phone consumption and usage. It's really the shift from using fossil fuel cars and transportation to using lithium-powered batteries.
So there's an environmental element there to an extent as
absolutely,
well.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the key thing too, is that it really sort of dovetails really nicely with all of these various themes that are popping up, right? Which is being more environmentally conscious, basically lowering the footprint of smog and pollution and everything else from burning fossil fuels, and just being a much more convenient way to use energy when you need it. I mean, ultimately, the big change in the energy sector across everything is the ability to have energy inventory. Because really, I mean, if you think about oil as energy inventory, it just happens to be several billion years old, million years old. But that's really what the paradigm shift is.
Another question, of course, on investors' mind: why is now the time for me to get in on this stock? So if you can provide us with 3 reasons, that'd be great.
Sure. The lithium sector is going to be determined by which assets provide the safest, lowest cost, large volume source of lithium. And our position in Atacama meets all of those criteria. Just by virtue of geographically what it is, number one. Number two, the entire lithium sector has basically seen a big washout since 2018, but a lot of companies, ironically, because they've managed to get a little bit ahead of us in development, they really don't have any more bullets to fire when it comes to moving forward. So in a weird way, because we've had this washout in the sector, and because we had to take a little more time in terms of bureaucratic issues with our partners and everything else, we actually have a much more clear path of news flow and value creation from now going forward than many of our peer companies do. And that's a very important part. And then, the main thing is we have managed to put together all of the pieces to create a successful company. We have the state mining company in Chile as our partner. We have a world-class asset that no one really disputes in terms of its quality. And we have a company called Uranium One, which has the technology that will basically move away from the outdated form of producing lithium to the latest ways, which is the most environmentally friendly way of doing it. And plus, Uranium One has a parent company, Rosatom, which is one of the biggest energy corporations in the world, with a lot of financial firepower at its disposal to make sure we can move things forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving forward,
Yeah.
what's ahead in 2020?
So then basically the final parts of putting together all of these pieces in terms of partnerships is happening now. Bringing Anami in, bringing Uranium One in, so that we have the specific legal entity that is going to develop the asset for. We have MOUs all signed and everyone's working away to make that from MOU stage to a final stage. And then the process of that is going to be drilling, doing the geological studies, coming out with those results, doing the various engineering studies on that, and that's all lining up basically from now till the end of the year.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's going to be exciting times ahead for you.
It is good, exciting. And frankly, the lithium sector in general is incredibly interesting right now because it's been so beat up, and I think our position in it is just fantastic. Contrarian plays are always sort of exciting plays because they're usually pretty obvious in hindsight.
Yeah, okay, very good. Looking forward to seeing how things unfold in the coming year. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For more information about Wealth Minerals, head to our website, www.richmondclub.com. And to learn about other high-growth companies, be sure to follow us on YouTube and our social channels. For the Richmond Report, I'm Galit Solomon.
If you enjoyed this video, please let us know. You've been watching the Richmond Club Report. If you've just come across this channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm sure you'll find a lot of interesting and lucrative investment and trading ideas around here. We'll see you again soon on the next video. Cheers, guys. Have an amazing and profitable day.